In the fast-paced world of the NFL, young talents like Justin Fields often find themselves at the center of a whirlwind of opinions.
I'm being serious. I don't see Justin Fields being like a franchise quarterback. You can't win with him.
We saw Justin Fields at the Super Bowl. He's like 6'3". He's big dude. He's big.
He fits the eye test, the airport test. Good job. All airport
Come on.
I've seen all these guys that look like Tarzan and play like Jane.
You can spot awful, Zach Wilson, E.J. Emanuel early. You can spot great early. And I think Justin Fields is neither.
Justin Fields is no stranger to the spotlight or the criticisms that come with it. But beyond the headlines and the debates, his journey has been one defined by resilience and determination. From overcoming challenges on and off the field to answering doubts about his potential, Justin Fields has faced adversity head on.
Are you ready for people to start questioning whether you're the quarterback of the Chicago Bears next year?
I am. I think they've already been saying that. So
Can a player who displays incredible prowess running the ball also rise to the ranks of a superstar quarterback, or will his running style lead to injuries and a promise unfulfilled? Welcome back to Unlikely Success. Today, we dive in to the inspiring story of the nearly forgotten phenom, Justin Fields. In 2018, Justin Fields was the number 2 high school football prospect in the country. The number 1 prospect was Trevor Lawrence. Both played their football in the state of Georgia, and the high schools they played for were about 30 minutes apart. Trevor Lawrence was known as a phenom at Cartersville High School and had started since 4 games in of his freshman year. Justin Fields was an unknown prospect for his first 2 years at Harrison High School in Kennesaw, Georgia. He didn't start on the varsity team either year, but his big break came as a junior in high school. After this season, he was invited to the prestigious Elite 11 camp. Justin won the camp MVP, and this catapulted his rise as a top football prospect in the country. Justin originally committed to playing college football at Penn State, but he would later flip his commitment to Georgia. Justin's senior season would be covered in Netflix's QB1 Beyond the Lights. It's worth a watch, and maybe after this video, go check it out. Justin's choice of the University of Georgia was perplexing to some pundits. The reason? They just came off a national championship appearance, and they had true sophomore Jake Fromm coming back as the incumbent. It was going to be very difficult for Justin Fields to win this starting job. Nonetheless, Fields was very confident that he could beat out Fromm, but that is not what happened. Justin actually lost the starting competition for QB1, and he served as the primary backup for the entire 2018 season. It was a disappointing campaign, and at the end of the year, Fields decided to transfer.
Justin Fields is talking about transferring from Georgia. Anybody could see that this was a very possibility, a strong possibility even.
Georgia quarterback Justin Fields is expected to transfer to Ohio State.
Let me say this about Justin. Justin is working extremely hard. He is competing. He's in the meeting rooms. He's still rolling and going with our twos. His information to us is I'm looking at my options, which is what you do when you go into the portal, which we all know he's in. So that's the extent of it. That's the conversation that we have had.
If you're not good enough to start over somebody, maybe you're just not that good.
So, but then
in the bigger scope of things, like NFL-wise, that's what drives me nuts.
Okay.
Maybe they misjudged you as a 5-star quarterback coming out.
When asked about why he was transferring, Justin had this to say.
I really rather not kind of talk about why I left. I'd rather just talk about this upcoming season and kind of the upcoming goals me and this team have.
Justin wasted little time selecting the Ohio State University. Interestingly, his transfer into OSU was only 1 year after Joe Burrow had left for LSU. The QB talent in college football in 2019 was insane. In 2019, Justin definitely lived up to his hype. He led the Buckeyes to a 13-1 record. He had almost 3,300 passing yards with 41 passing touchdowns, nearly 500 rushing yards, and 10 rushing touchdowns. The one loss of that season was to, of course, Trevor Lawrence. Interesting side note here, the 4 quarterbacks of the 2019 college playoff teams were Joe Burrow, Trevor Lawrence, Jalen Hurts, and Justin Fields. The 5th-ranked team in the final college rankings was Georgia. Justin probably felt pretty good about this, since his competitive nature is always noted by anyone who talks about him. Even more context, the 6th-ranked college football team at the end of that season was Oregon, and their quarterback was Justin Herbert. 2019 was insane for college football quarterbacks. In 2020, as we're all aware, the entire world shut down due to COVID-19. College football was no different, and they were deciding on how to proceed. The decision was left to the conferences to make their own choices and whether or not they would play a full season. Ohio State, as part of the Big Ten, was subject to the fact that the conference had opted to cancel their season.
Reese, it's been just some 20 minutes or so since we got news that the Big Ten is postponing its fall football season. What was your reaction to this major announcement?
I wasn't surprised.
Justin was a vocal proponent of the season being played. He started a petition that received over 320,000 signatures online. The Big Ten heard the collective pushback from their student athletes, and at an almost too late to play stage, decided to play a shortened, league-only schedule for the 2020 college football season.
Big news out of the Big Ten, the conference announcing that all fall sports, including football, will play conference-only schedules.
Fields would lead the Buckeyes to another Big Ten championship and a berth into the college football playoffs. His numbers were solid for the season, but the lack of games meant a lack of total statistics. He finished 2020 with 2,100 passing yards, 22 passing touchdowns, 383 rushing yards, and 5 rushing touchdowns. These aren't bad numbers, but they're definitely not his 2019 numbers either. In the 2020 college football playoffs, Justin's Buckeyes would face off against, you guessed it, Trevor Lawrence. For the first time in the matchup between these two extremely talented quarterbacks, Justin's team won. It wasn't just a win, though. Justin played the game of his life. He threw for 385 yards and 6 touchdowns. It was an all-time college football performance, truly legendary. Unfortunately, midway through the game, Fields took a devastating hit. He played the remainder of the game, but he was clearly in pain, and this would 100% affect their advancement to the national championship. The injury was clearly bothering him during the national championship game, where the Buckeyes would lose to Alabama. This would be the last college football game Justin Fields played in. Justin entered the 2021 NFL Draft. The consensus number 1 pick in that draft was, of course, Trevor Lawrence. Draft experts and pundits started to evaluate the QBs, and many were split on Fields. Somehow, he became the 4th quarterback selected.
Into that, and I just want somebody to explain to me, how does the season end and Justin Fields is universally recognized as the number 2 quarterback in the draft outside of after Trevor Lawrence, and somehow, some way, without a game being played, without an interception being thrown, without a turnover being committed, without an incompletion pass being thrown, this brother dropped to arguably the 5th best quarterback in college football. How the hell does that happen?
Skip, the question is, and I understand, last year, not the pandemic season, but the year before, Justin Fields was spectacular. So he has some good tape out there. He does. So is he more that, or is he more this year? That's the question that evaluators are going to have to ask and answer for themselves. Is he more of what we saw his first year starting at Ohio State, or is he more of what we see the up and down what we saw last year?
The Chicago Bears would trade up from pick number 20 to pick number 11 just so they could draft Justin Fields. The Bears had given Andy Dalton a 1-year, $10 million contract in the offseason, but they decided Fields falling to the 11th pick was too good of an opportunity for them to pass up. Since being drafted, there continue to be doubts about Justin proving he's a franchise QB.
Even Justin Fields, we're 2 years in. I'm not blaming solely Justin Fields. He's 5-20 with a passer rating under 80 and completing less than 60% of his throws.
If his past tells us anything, Justin has the competitive nature, talent, and leadership to be successful. His success in college may one day be an afterthought compared to what his NFL career becomes. Justin's leadership, focus, and relentless work ethic are what separate him from other talented, able quarterbacks. Justin may never become a superstar quarterback in the NFL, but given all the things that he's overcome and the way that he's been perceived, he is an unquestioned success. Justin is an incredible story of someone who was overshadowed in high school, college, and the NFL draft, yet he is on the verge of becoming an NFL superstar. How can his approach be applied in your life? Who is standing in your way? Take Justin's lead and find a way to overcome the obstacle and become a better version of yourself. Leave a comment below with your obstacle and how you plan to overcome it. If you don't feel comfortable enough with that, celebrate someone else who comments or offer them your opinion on how to conquer their obstacle. This community is being built on achieving success, and we can't do it alone. Until next time, keep chasing your dreams and keep chasing your success.